Good morning, over here from LEGOLAND Windsor and of course Brick or Treat. Yesterday we're back over at the pod to check out all of what this event has to offer. And you know what, it's so great to be back. Of course in 2022 it's not only Brick or Treat, as yet instead it's actually Brick or Treat presents Monster Party. And to be fair, I'm not really sure what that name entitles, but I'm definitely excited to check it out. In terms of what I'm most looking forward to today, of course we've got the brand new walkthrough to check out called Monster Street. And that definitely looks pretty cool, as it looks like a refurbished enchanted forest, which was of course the previous walkthroughs, of course in past years. Along with that, everyone's got shows, character interactions, and so much more. Without any further ado, let's get straight inside of LEGOLAND Windsor Brick or Treat presents Monster Party. You know what, I'm already loving the theming over here at this event. Of course, as you can see, you've got this awesome joke just down here, but also as well, more importantly, just up there is an awesome photo opportunity, of course, with 3 huge Lego pumpkins. And you know what, it definitely looks pretty cool. So just as we make our way down the hill, we've actually spotted even more theming, with of course this sign saying monsters this way. And if I'm correct, I believe this is actually pointing to of course Monster Street, which is actually going to be the area we head to first. So let's go and head over there. Okay, so we've now made our way over here into Pirate Shores, and of course Monster Street. So as you can see over on this side, this is all the information that you need to know about this walkthrough. Of course it says no humans, welcome to Monster Street. And yet in terms of a bit of backstory to Monster Street, in previous years, as I just previously mentioned, it used to actually be called Enchanted Forest. And essentially it used to be a walkthrough where you used to see lights, theming pieces and so much more. And you know what, it actually used to be quite good fun. But of course in this year's version, it does look a little bit different. As it says, warning, Monster Street includes strobe lighting, smoke effects, high noise levels, and of course actors. Which the bit I'm most interested into that is of course the actors. And also as well, it does say monsters only down here at the bottom. So I'm not really sure what this is actually going to entitle, because as I just said, it does seem very different from previous years. But of course right now also, what else is different is there's actually a queue building up. So in previous years you would sort of just walk straight into it, and there never really used to be a queue obviously. So I'm definitely interested to see what it's like. Right now it's on a half-an-hour queue, so not too bad. But let's go and jump in the queue and of course check out Monster Street. Okay, so we've just made our way out, our first ever run through there in Monster Street. And you know what, that was definitely very different from last time. Essentially, if I bring you through the full experience, of course, it was actually around a 20-minute queue. So I suppose it was a little bit less than advertised, so it wasn't actually too bad. You basically passed loads of different theming pieces, as you've probably seen in a couple of them clips. But also after that, Stockman would then collect you and of course bring you down under this sign, of course labelling Monster Street. Then you would then collect a bag, of course just a paper bag. But you know what, at least they put in a little bit of effort to of course theme it, because they do actually look quite good. After that you then went around 3 different different booths as such. I don't really know what they're called really. But you went around 3 different ones of them. Usually there would actually be an actor in each one, I believe, from watching other videos. This time there are actually only 2 of them, so that was definitely quite interesting. I'm not really sure why there were only 2 of them, but to be fair, I think we still got all the treats, and of course tricks that everyone else did, of course, on their experience. So essentially what you actually got, if I'm going to ruin it right now, you of course got a packet of Lego, you then got, I believe got a chocolate bar, and also as well you then got a pop badge. And for a free experience, I actually thought that was very good. Because I know a lot of parks now, they do actually have these as upcharged experiences, because of course you do actually get some free treats and everything. It's really good that it's actually free, because I know especially up at Alton Towers with Scarefest this year, a lot of stuff are actually upcharged, which is definitely a shame, because this park is definitely doing pretty well with it. But in terms of my overall thoughts on it, I did think it was very good. One thing that I didn't like about it though was the queue, and as much as it was less than advertised, I felt like it just worked better. Of course, it's like the Enchanted Forest, and where you would just walk straight through it, without actually having to queue up. Because usually now, as you sort of have to queue up, you're probably only going to be able to do it once in your day. But with the old Enchanted Forest, you're supposed to do it, of course, as many times as you'd like throughout the day. And that doesn't mean that you can't do this as many times as you'd like, because I'm sure they would of course let you, but you do feel a little bit more restricted now, of course, as a queue line. But, you know, overall, I felt like the theming was definitely a lot better, and, you know, the actors were great as well. Overall, I definitely really enjoyed it, and I've of course recommend, of course, experiencing Monster Street over here at Legoland Windsor. Brick or Treat presents Monster Party, because you know what, it's definitely a fun walkthrough. So we've just made our way over here into the Ninth Kingdom, and as you can see, just as we're going up into the castle itself, is of course this awesome photo opportunity, and I believe this actually arrived at the park a couple of years ago, and you know what, it definitely looks the part over here at the park. You know what, Legoland Windsor has definitely improved on their theming this year. As you can see just outside of the entrance there to the dragon is of course tons of different Halloween flags, and I believe these are new for 2022, and you know what, they definitely look quite cool. Along with this, over to the right hand side, you may just be able to see there are quite a lot of cobwebs, and also as well some spooky spiders up there, which you know what, definitely look pretty cool. So just as we make our way outside of the Ninth Kingdom, I just wanted to quickly point out that along with the nice theming pieces are of course these huge banners, and I have to say that they're definitely for some great photo opportunities. You know what, I'm loving all the theming pieces over here at this year's event. Here just outside of the Lego Ninjago world is of course this awesome cardboard cutout. This is both for a witch and also as well her cat just down there. And you know what, as much as I would have definitely preferred it to be like a minifigure, I still think it looks quite nice. Along with this, just down to the right hand side, are also some new flags as well. And yeah, these both have the logo on, and also as well they come in various different colours. And you know what, they definitely look pretty cool. Okay, so we've now made our way over here into Heartlake City. And as you can see, once again, there's another awesome photo opportunity. Of course, this time it's got loads of fake lights around it. And also as well, with the Brick or Treat presents Monster Party logo there just in the middle as well. Yeah, next up, we're actually going to be watching our first piece of entertainment. This is actually called the Monster Jam Harbour Show, and I'm actually quite looking forward to this. I'm not really sure what it has to offer, because I believe this is actually new for 2022, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. So here are a couple of highlights over here from the Monster Jam Harbour Show. So there are a couple of highlights over there from the Monster Jam Harbour Show, and you know what, I actually quite enjoyed it. So in terms of the storyline of the show itself, basically there were like 4 or 5 people who were like massive fans of this monster show, and every single year this monster show would then of course do an act for the audience. However, yeah, this time of course they would once again do an act for of course them 4 or 5 people, and you know what, it was actually quite a fun show. Of course, I'm not really a show person, but to be fair, that's definitely one of the better ones I've seen. And you know what, it's definitely worth watching, of course, on your visit over here to Legoland Windsor. So these are cool. Just outside of the resort hotels over here at the park are of course these new huge Lego skeleton heads. And these are basically like the same size as of course the Lego pumpkin heads up at the beginning. And yeah, instead of them just sitting there, instead, as you can probably hear behind me, yeah, these skeleton heads actually say some jokes, and to be fair, they are pretty bad. But you know what, that actually makes it quite funny. And you know, also as well, makes for some great photo opportunities, yeah, over here at the park. You know what, this is a great addition, and yeah, I'm definitely pleased to of course see some more theming pieces. Another great photo opportunity is located over here in Lego City. And once again, this is actually new for 2022. And I have to say, it literally looks amazing. Of course, you've got the Brick or Treat sign just up there. And also as well, you've got tons of different jack-o'-lanterns and of course normal pumpkins as well. And as much as there's definitely less normal pumpkins around the park, you know, the jack-o'-lanterns definitely make up for it. You know what, you can never get enough posters over here at Legoland Windsor. But also as well, they are always amazing. As you can see, just down this pathway here are of course even more posters. Yeah, with of course the main one down here, yeah, being actually the logo from Legoland Windsor Brick or Treat presents Monster Party. And yeah, with the other posters just being various different characters, of course, from around this event. And you know what, they do look quite cool. So just before we take a little look around Miniland, to of course spot some very spooky characters, I just wanted to quickly point out how cool these extra posters look. And yeah, I know we were just talking about some posters just down the pathway, but you know what, these ones look even cooler. As of course you have the logo there in the middle, but what makes these so great are of course these nice Lego bags just on top of them. So one of my favourite things over here at Brick or Treat presents Monster Party is of course to find all these different spooky characters and theming pieces over here in Miniland. Because you know what, the team over here at LEGOLAND Windsor always do a great job with it. And yet, as you can see just over there in this Stonehenge is of course various different pumpkins. And you know what, don't they just look so cool? Yeah, let's go and head around Miniland, and of course I'll show you a couple of clips for some very spooky characters and of course some other theming pieces. It's always great to take another look around Miniland. Honestly, this is one of my favourite areas over here at LEGOLAND Windsor. And you know what, it's always great as well to especially find loads of new models over here for their events. But of course, we've now made our way down here to actually have a little look at the letters. And as you can see just over there, right next to the costume contest, which I have to say, again, that's actually one of my favourite models. It is of course an S. And yet with these letters, you may be wondering, yeah, why is there randomly a letter there? Basically, the reason why that is yeah, there's actually a square foot scavenger hunt. And essentially you can go around the whole of Miniland, of course collect various different letters, and yeah, right at the end you then unscramble the words, and yeah, then head over to the new for 2022, yeah, of course the brick over there, which if you don't know what that is, it's that green building just behind the trees, and of course collect your special gift, which I do believe is a pot badge, which is pretty cool. However, one thing to point out is, yeah, if you're actually going to do this, you can actually only do it between 2 and 4 PM. Of course, you can go and check out all the letters, any time in the day, but yeah, you can actually only collect the pot badge between 2 and 4 PM. But you know what, it's definitely pretty cool to see it. Yeah, because you know, I always love the event over in Miniland, because LEGOLAND do definitely put in a lot of effort here, of course, in Miniland. So next up, we're going to check out another piece of entertainment over here at the park. And of course, we're actually going to be staying in Miniland for Miniland Monster Disco. And to be fair, it does sound like it is for the younger age group, but to be honest, I will still show you guys, just in case you of course want to come down here and experience it for yourself. Yeah, as you can see over here, here are the Miniland show times. And yeah, I believe this is actually for the show, of course, Miniland Monster Disco. As you can see, from 12:30, it runs every hour until 3:30. So yeah, there are actually 4 show times on there, which in my opinion isn't actually too bad, because it sort of gives you enough time to get over and of course experience it. I've also as well down here, I just wanted to quickly point this out, it says where to next. You can see Monster Street, Monster Jam, or of course as well, the Great Monster Chase 4D. And yeah, of course we will be seeing that later up in the Imagination Centre. But of course for now, we are going to be watching the Miniland Monster Disco. So yeah, here are a couple of highlights over from the show. So unfortunately the show was cancelled. However, to be fair to the staff members, what I thought was quite nice is that instead of leaving guests disappointed, of course, that the show was of course cancelled, instead they actually went and brought out a character meet and greet, and I believe it was actually Lord Vampire, which was quite cool. And I thought that was just a nice addition, because of course it is quite sad that the show it was cancelled, and also as well it was actually the last showtime of the day. You know, it was definitely nice to meet Lord Vampire. Oh yeah, we've now made our way up here into one of the worst areas, yeah, in my opinion, of this whole park. And yeah, this is of course the Imagination Centre. I don't really know why, but I just think this area is quite poor, to be honest. And it is quite an old area, so of course quite classic here at LEGOLAND Windsor. And yeah, besides Skyrider though, the one thing that I do really like about this area is of course the 4D cinema. And I think it's actually called LEGO Studios 4D. And yeah, for the Halloween season in here, they do actually have a special 4D movie. And yeah, this is actually the Great Monster Chase 4D. And from the advert, which actually released a couple of weeks ago, I've always actually been quite interested into what this is like, because they've never really done like a Halloween movie on here before. Not that I can remember anyway, so I'm definitely interested to see what it's like. Yeah, of course, I'll go and show you around at the entrance, and yeah, see if there's any show times, of course, about the show. Okay, so we've just made our way over here to the LEGO Studios 4D, and unfortunately I can't actually find any show times. But of course, if you do actually look on the LEGOLAND Windsor app, of course they will be all advertised on there. And yet from what I know, I believe it's roughly every half an hour as a show. But yeah, of course, if you're coming down for yourself, make sure to check it out, just in case, of course, some of the times change. But of course, as you can see, we're standing outside of this pretty cool poster here of the Great Monster Chase 4D. And yeah, I just wanted to quickly point out that over here at Brick or Treat presents Monster Party, the only show which will actually be showing over here is of course the Great Monster Chase 4D. As yet, in normal times, non-event times, yeah, they will be showing various other shows, including like a Ninjago one, a Lego City one, and I believe a Mythical one as well. And yeah, sometimes there are more shows than that. But yeah, right now, as I just said, they will only be showing the Great Monster Chase 4D. And unfortunately, I can't actually show you guys inside of here due to, of course, being a 4D cinema. Yeah, of course, I will give my review when we come out of course, the Great Monster Chase 4D. You know what, that show was actually really good fun. So we've just come outside of the Great Monster Chase 4D, and in my opinion, that's actually one of the highlights of the event. To be honest, if not the main highlight of the event. So in terms of the storyline about the show, basically there were a couple of friends who went into like a monster party, and yeah, of course, they were humans, so they weren't actually meant to be in the monster party. And what was quite funny is that the party was actually located inside one of the Legoland parks, which was quite cool. Yeah, of course, then they actually got realised by the monsters, that they weren't actually a monster. And after that, the monsters would then chase them, of course, like around the Legoland Park. And of course, just experiencing some of the attractions like the Dragon, of course, like the Lego City Driving School, and so much more. And you know what? I actually really enjoyed it. I do also know that if you do want to experience it, and of course you can't make your way down here to, of course, like Legoland Windsor, I think it is located at most of the Legoland parks. And to be honest, I think the show is actually on at even some Legoland Discovery Centres, which is definitely quite cool. Overall, it's a great show, and of course, I'd 100% recommend watching it on your visit here to Brick or Treat Presents Monster Party. So as we make our way further into the Imagination Centre, just outside of the Lego Reef is, of course, the Lego and Duplo Pumpkin Patch. And of course, I will go and show you inside of it. But just out here, as you can see, you've got this awesome jack-o'-lantern. And you know what, these just look so cool. But along with this, you've also got those different signs, of course, advertising the Lego Pumpkin Patch, the Monster Party, which is of course the 4D show, and also as well the Duplo Pumpkin Patch. Let's go and head inside of Lego Reef, just to see what it has to offer. So I hope you've enjoyed them clips from inside the Lego Reef. You know what, that was actually quite fun to experience. Personally, I didn't actually build anything myself, but if you did want to build something, of course, as you've just seen by one of the clips, you can actually go and display it, of course, up in the building itself. And you know what, it's definitely nice to, of course, come back throughout the day, and I believe they probably stay up throughout the whole day, and of course, take another look at your model, and maybe even expand on it. We're now coming towards the end of our day. It's currently around 4:30 now, so and of course, park closes at 5 PM. And in my opinion, I think park closes a little bit too early, because of course at the moment you can't really get any night rides. Of course it's getting to dusk right now, but yeah, I do wish it was open around an hour or two later. But of course now we're going to take a look around the park, maybe experience some of the park's attractions, and even see some more Halloween decorations. So let's go and head around the park. So we've just finished up with a ride there on the Dragon. And you know what, that coaster is such a full package. In my opinion, it's one of the best coasters in the UK. And I know a lot of people probably won't have the same opinion. But to be honest, it's a special ride to me. And it's definitely a classic here at the park. But of course, we've now unfortunately come to the end of our day over here. Legoland Windsor Brick or Treat Presents Monster Party. And you know what, it's actually a really fun event. As much as not like a horror event like you'd find down at Thorpe Park for Fright Nights, or even Chesington World of Adventures Halloween, it's still a great event, and of course 100% recommend coming down here. And in terms of my highlights of today, of course Monster Street, the brand new walkthrough located in Pirate Shores. That's actually a really fun walkthrough. As much as I probably do prefer Enchanted Forest, they're both great for different reasons. And of course I definitely recommend giving it a try because it's still a really fun walkthrough. And of course as well, it is all free. And I am really pleased that of course they do actually have a free experience here, because I know a lot of parks now, especially like up at Alton Towers with Scarefest this year, everything's pretty much an upcharge. And I know quite a lot of people are sort of disappointed about that. But down here at Legoland Windsor, we do have something free, which is great to see. Along with that, the park just feels like it feels like a refreshed event in a way. So everything's a bit more like modern now, and of course a bit more new than previous years. And the reason why I say that is due to, of course, in just previous years, just been Brick or Treat. But now it just feels like everything's been refreshened up a little bit. And, that's definitely great to see. But in my opinion, the highlight probably has to be the Great Monster Chase 4D. And I know not everybody's going to have the same opinion as me, due to, of course, being a 4D show. But, you know, I just really enjoyed that day. And I felt like it sort of tied the whole event in really well, as it sort of explained the storyline of the event. And, you know, it was just really fun. Overall, though, it's been a great day. And, of course, I definitely recommend coming down there, even though it is like a family event. And, you know, even if you do prefer like horror events, it's still a great place to come to, because you can still have some good fun here. And as it's my home park, it's always been a special place to me. And you know, I do love Legoland Windsor. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.